Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. I've got a tag today, but it is not Tag Tuesday. And also, I need to apologise for everyone who has tagged me in a tag in like the last month. I've been awful at them. Also, my mentions thing is just broken, and it only shows me mentions from like a year ago. So whenever I go to find a tag to do, I can't find any, and I have to scroll back for miles. But anyway, enough of that. I'm doing the Adventures Assemble tag, which is by a new booktube channel, quite new anyway, about 5 months, and a new channel to me. I have not seen it before, but I really like the look of it from this tag. So I'll be watching more, and that's the Disquiet and Dragons channel. Wonderful name. And I was tagged by Mark at the book thing, and this is a very small, short, easy tag to get me back into tags. So let's go ahead. It's this to not mention Lord of the Rings in this tag, by the way, is almost impossible, and other things of the big series that I like. But so I tried my best not to mention all these big series that I love, but I may have messed up. Tag number one. Nom Nom Nom. Choose a companion or adventurer that will ensure you eat well on your quest. I've just chosen one person for every prompt apart from one. For eating, I'm going to go with Tara, this chap, the glutton, from A.K. Blakemore's The Glutton. Tara was a real character in France, a real person in France, who was like a bottomless pit. He was like sort of a freak show sort of person who they would just feed loads and loads to, and he was a bottomless pit, and I really relate to that, because I do like all food and I like to eat loads, and he will eat anything, and I will eat anything as well, including forks and things. So I think he'd be a good person to hang out with. I'd get some scraps, maybe. I don't know. But we could be a double act, two bottomless pits. But yeah, this is a really good book as well, Tara, The Glutton. She's a very young author, but very Hilary Mantel-esque. Number two. I know this one. Choose a companion or adventurers to help you win at a pub/tavern quiz. I did think about the Minds from Ian Banks' Culture, because they're like a compute supercomputers. But then I thought you can't use computers. That's like using your phone at a pub quiz, which I find disgraceful. I'm very serious about pub quizzes, and I have left my own team when I discovered that one of them had seen the questions previously, and just sat and did it on my own, which is is how seriously I take it. So I'm going with a human being, but what better human being than Jeeves himself? Always knows everything, always can get you out of a sticky situation. I just think he'd be a good laugh in the pub as well. I think he'd be the perfect pub quiz companion. Don't think Bertie would contribute much, but if Bertie wanted to join the team as well, he could be there for moral support. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Choose a companion or adventurers that will stay loyal and trustworthy until the very end. So this is like perfect fantasy one, isn't it? Like Sam Gamgee, but I've gone for a Victorian doctor instead in Dr. Fawn. This is book 3 in the Barchester Chronicles by Anthony Trollope. Dr. Fawn, and Dr. Fawn is like one of my favourite characters throughout Barchester, but he's very loyal to not his daughter, is it? It's his sort of niece, and he looks after her, and he knows that her parentage is from a very rich background, but he keeps it secret. He never reveals it, even though it would be massively helpful. So he's a very loyal companion. He's a great guardian to his niece, and just a wonderful character who carries on throughout the series as well. Great books by Chester Chronicles. Got your back. Choose a companion or adventurers that will help you out in a fight. So here, this is where I've just thrown in everyone that I could have used in every answer. So I could have used Night Eyes in a lot of these. So I'm going to go with Night Eyes, the wolf from the Realm of the Elderlings. Fitz would be pretty handy as well. Let's take Fitz and Night Eyes because they're kind of a tag team. But it's a great fantasy series where the main character Fitz can speak to animals, and he has a pet wolf, and they fight together. I'm going to take a fighting captain, Jack Aubrey, Master and Commander. He is if this fight is taking place on land, Fitz and Night Eyes very good. Jack would be very good if we're at sea, because he just goes at him hard like Nelson taught him to. Very big man as well, and a fearsome fighter. And that's again another series about two friends. I'm also going to go with someone who isn't 90 pounds soaking wet like he is in the films. Paul Muad'Dib from Dune. He's a fearsome desert warrior, not Timothée Chalamet. And finally, I'm going to pick Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings. I suppose I could have picked Gandalf as well, but that's a bit like cheating in the pub quiz, isn't it? Magic. It's a bit of a cheat. So I think Aragorn would be a good fighter. You could choose Boromir or someone like that, or Gimli, and you could choose the whole fellowship basically, apart from the hobbits, which aren't very useful. But I'll go with Aragorn because he's a badass. And fifth and final question. Fifth and final question. Man's best friend. Choose a companion or adventurers that are not human. So I could have chosen Night Eyes for that, but I'm going to choose, I think, a slightly overlooked fantasy series, which I don't see much about, and that is Naomi Novik's Temeraire. I'm probably not saying that right. It's named after the ship. This isn't the first book. That is. So this is a really interesting fantasy series, and she kind of shot to fame through her book Uprooted, which is based on Polish fairy tales. But this series she did before, which is sort of a historical fiction of the Napoleonic Wars, but just adding the little slight change in that dragons exist. So the main character in this has a dragon called Temeraire, which is named after a real ship, the Fighting Temeraire, made famous by Turner's painting. But yeah, I really enjoyed the series. I need to go back to it because I, like many other series, I only read a few and then sort of lost my way. But I really enjoyed them, and they kind of don't take it themselves too seriously, which I like, and it's just a fascinating period of history, the Napoleonic Wars, and it's set at sea as well, because the dragons are normally accompanied by a ship, so it's basically naval warfare with dragons. It's really cool. Yeah, so this is a nice little tag. And number 6, tag other people. So I'm going to tag Book Chat with Pat, because book tagging Pat is like tagging everyone. You will eventually reach everyone on BookTube. I'm going to tag Elle from Elle Thinks, because she's very big fantasy reader. I'm sure she'll have good answers for this. I'm going to choose Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, because he also likes a bit of fantasy, a bit of sci-fi. I think he'll be quite good at this one. And I'm going to choose Deb at Raina Reads Stuff, because I think she's good at tags. She'll have good answers for this one as well. So BookTube, that's the Adventurers Assemble tag, or sort of try not to mention Lord of the Rings BookTube tag. But yeah, I snuck Lord of the Rings in there. Have a good one, BookTube. Bye.